Hello friends, hope you are amazing. It is Tuesday, happy Tuesday. For some of you it's your second day back at work. Hope yesterday went really well for you, and for some of you are still on holidays. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about, hey Joe, good morning. I'm going to talk first of all about, that was me emphasizing my hair flicking. Really hilarious. I heard through an unexpected channel yesterday that there are some people out there who get really pissed off about my hair flicking. And I thought that that was really funny, so I thought that I would emphasize it today. So here's the thing, right? I've got hair extensions, obviously. Maybe not obviously. And I really love them, but, you know, I'm always really conscious about, you know, how they sit. I'm one of those people that likes to look my best no matter what, and whether it's at the gym, whether it's walking, whether it's on live streams, whatever it happens to be. So some people get really pissed off by it, which I think is freaking hilarious. Other people are just like, whatever. So the reason that I bring that up this morning is because it's, you know, hashtag hair, but also because there are things that you will do, there are things that you will say, there will be attitudes and opinions that you have that people just flat out don't like, that they don't agree with, that they get pissed off with about. Maybe you're too much of something and maybe you listened. You know, maybe you bought into that. So a little bit of a backstory on that stuff. I think it's really kind of interesting. I've been processing some different stuff, I said to you guys yesterday, over the last few days. And the big message for this week is that if you want something different to what you've always had, you've got to do things differently to the way you've always done them. And that means letting go of a bunch of stuff and blah, blah, blah. But somewhere along the way, maybe you, like me, has listened to the opinions of perhaps people who, with the best of intentions, have given you advice or feedback on particular kinds of things. So something that I find really easy, and I've always found really easy, is to write long copy. So lots of words. It's a bit like speaking. I've always been told, you know, Nicola, if you would just stop being so talkative and applied yourself more, you would perhaps get a better result. Or maybe you can say what you need to say with less words. And I'm like, but I can't. You know, working with a mentor for some really specific things at the moment, and one of the things that I had a conversation with her about last year was, she said, you know what, she said, I just don't read it all. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. That's why I've got these other little things, you know, kind of slotted in different places. But for those that kind of do more of the skim reading. But I felt really bad. I felt like it was wrong. I felt like I was kind of missing the mark with different things. So I guess the reason I'm sharing that is that for me, it's a lot easier for me to have all of the words than to try and say what I need to say in 3 sentences, because most people need a lot more words. Most people need to hear a lot more about what's going on, what are the features, what are the benefits, how it's important for them, what are they going through, you know, how do we create rapport. It's it's through having conversation. And to me, a conversation is not like, hey, I'm putting this event on, you should totally buy it, you're going to get you know, let's go. You know, I find it really hard to condense my work. So, and I felt like I couldn't do it. So I felt it was stupid, I felt like there was something wrong with me, all of that kind of stuff. So, and I know I'm always open for a challenge. I'm always open for growth, as I know that you guys are as well. So, hey Jessica, hey Tina, hey Joe, good morning, happy Tuesday. So, the other big thing around this, though, is that you're always going to be not right for some people, right? Based on their opinions of how they think that you should be, or how you should market, or how you should do video, or how you should write your copy, or how you should run your events, or how you should do blah, blah, blah. There was another comment that was posted on a photo of mine last night, by a girl I actually went to primary school with, Rachel. And I talked in this particular post about how I think it's bullshit that people still, in this day and age, companies in this day and age, think that it's okay to put on an event where they hypnotize the people in the room into buying from them. I think it's really terrible. I think that, yeah, you can have some strategy if you want. And I don't think that it's a bad thing to sell in a room, by the way. I think it's actually really important to be selling, otherwise you make no money, and then otherwise you don't have a business and then you're screwed. So, you've got to be making money. But there are ways in which you can do that aren't, in my opinion, that are not unethical. So she said to me, she's like, oh my gosh, I was at this event a few years ago, and it's like we were all put into this trance, like, meditative state, and then all the desks came out with all the things, with all the FPOS machines, and she invested $6,000. They kept changing the dates. She couldn't get in touch with the company. They wouldn't refund her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that's really shit. We don't need to do things this way. If you are really solid in your message, if you are solid in knowing what it is that you're delivering and who you're delivering it to and what the training needs to be and what the outcomes are going to be and how you're going to be able to help them, then that's what you hang your hat on. You don't need to resort to NLPing people or hypnotizing people into buying from you. That can be zero manipulation. You don't need to manipulate at all. It's just about you making sure that what you're putting out there is a value that you're educating, and making it known that, hey, you know what, if you want more help, then this is how you would go and do that. So, shameless plug, I had a new program fall out of my brain a couple of days ago. Actually, the inkling of it happened last week, and I just sort of put a bit more of a framework around it. And it's where we're going to get together for 2 weeks, every day for 2 weeks, starting next Monday. And you can find out more at nicolamorass.com.au/visible-expansion. Now, I know that is going to be helpful. I know if you're someone who has felt like you need to get your message out there, you've got to be more visible, you want to do it in a way that feels good for you, that's based on your strengths, your knowledge, your experience, as well as, being a really great value to your audience, and you've got limitless content ideas for forever, then you're going to really love that program. To me, that's something that I know is going to help you be iconic. I know that is something that is going to help you get your message out there. I don't need to resort to hypnotizing you into going, oh yeah, maybe that's a good thing. Quickly, take out my credit card and go buy it. I'll put the link in later, guys. But the thing here is that, number one, you can do things in a way that feels good for you. And I've been talking about that for freaking years. I've talked about it in the latest book that I've published. I've talked about it in live streams, ongoing. You can do things in your way. It doesn't have to be in the way that I do it, the way that Oprah does it, the way that Ellen DeGeneres does it, the way that Gary Vee does it, the way that, anyone else in this industry who has something of a name. You can do things in a way that feels really great for you, that adds value and leads people naturally to the sale. You can even flick your hair if you want. You're always going to be too much of something for some people. And for others, you're just exactly right. I even had a therapist, and I wrote this last night or yesterday morning actually. It came out in my journal first, and then I talked about it yesterday afternoon, last night. I had a therapist say to me, Nicola, I don't know how anybody can possibly keep up with you. There is not another person on this planet that I know has the same energy as you do. You're exhausting. And I'm just like, why would you even say that? To me, it's just like, well, that's just how I am. It's how I've naturally always been. I go a million miles an hour. When I sink my teeth into something and I make a decision, I'm fucking relentless. And I'm sure you are as well. It's like when you put your mind to it, you'll move heaven and earth to make things happen. It's just who we are. And I think it's interesting that their beliefs about how people should be or can be or whatever can really impact our self beliefs or how we view ourselves, our self reflection. So to me, it's like, yep, you know what, I'm too much for some people, and that's fine. I'm too full on, I'm too blonde, I'm too hair flicky, which is really freaking hilarious. Mind you, they're the ones that sit and watch all videos, right? You know, the ones that have the opinion. They're the ones that say, you know, they'll come up to you in the supermarket or when they're dropping their kids off or they've got like, they're chatting and I'm like, so what's it that you actually do? You know, they're kind of like secretly curious and watching and trying to work it all out, but they've got their opinions of how you maybe should or shouldn't be. So I think it's really interesting. And there was a time when, going back, so 12 years ago, my oldest daughter started school, and I remember if I had heard something along those lines back then from someone, I would have been mortified. I would have been absolutely devastated. I probably would have been in tears, rocking in a corner for 2 weeks, and probably wouldn't have done anything about anything at all. But because I was so caught up in worrying about what everybody thought, I was so worried about making sure that I was being the kind of person that I felt like I needed to be in order to be liked, acknowledged, accepted, loved, to fit in, and all that kind of stuff. Where really, at the end of the day, we can't change what anybody thinks of us, really. Really, you can't change that. People are going to think what it is that they're going to think. They're going to say what it is that they're going to say. They're going to form their opinions pretty much instantly about how you should be, could be, would be, what you should do, shouldn't do, blah, blah, blah. When really, if you look at the relationships that you're in, the important relationships that you're in, so your romantic relationships, your friendships, perhaps your family relationships, they accept you for who you fucking are. They accept you for the person that you're growing into. They are with you all the way, every step of the way. And whether it's like acquaintances that don't get it, it's like that they're trying to make you, by sharing their opinions, overtly or covertly, that they're trying to make you change to how they think that you should be. And that's just shit. You shouldn't have to change for anybody. You should just be you. How this applies to your marketing, how this applies to your content, guys, is that it's so important for you to be able to get your message out there, right? And if you're worried about what everybody else is thinking about you, what the school mums are saying about you, if you're worried about what your friends are saying, if you're worried about what the deli person at the deli is saying, if you're worried when you're walking, what the old man with the headphones, why they're not talking to you, shit. You're going to be living in a world filled with self-doubt, filled with fear, filled with defensiveness, and that's going to hold you back from you really unleashing and becoming iconic, and therefore it holds you back from you getting everything that it is that you want to be able to get and create in the lives that you are here to impact in this world. So that's kind of that little rant for today. Hey, Shirley. It's okay for you to be too much. I think you're just perfect the way that you are. I think that you're amazing the way that you are, whether you have all the words or whether you don't. Maybe you've got a great ability to get your message across in 3 words. I can't do that. It's really funny, actually, as a separate little aside. My husband and I often have these discussions. They are discussions. Where we're sharing different opinions on stuff, or we might be trying to work stuff out, and hey Beck, hey Christy, and I'll say to Dom, I'm just like, babe, you know what, I love you, you just need to shut up and let me get the words out. Just let me get the words out, because it's like, if I don't get the words out, whether it's out of my face, whether it's out of my keys, like the keyboard, or whether it's out of the pen or the pencil, it's always a pencil actually, whether it's out of the pencil when I'm writing in my journal, I need to get all of the words out, because otherwise it's kind of like, whatever else is that needs to come next almost kind of gets stifled. So for some of you, you need to have all of the words, and that's okay. For some of you, you'll have shorter words. You won't need as much time or as much airtime is what I'm trying to say. And that's okay. Be okay with whatever it is that works for you. With your marketing, with your digital marketing, with your positioning, with you becoming visible over the course of this year, and if you're going to come and play in the Visible Expansion Program, that's going to be really great. You will have the ability, you will grow into the ability to be able to trust that the words that you need to say will come. You will know that when you turn on the video, when you press go live, or whether you're filming a blog and you're pressing record, you will know that what needs to come out will come out. It will be in some sense of structure, because that's how my brain works the best. It's also, I know, particularly for those of you who are starting out, most of you need some guidance and some structure in order to be able to think, right? And then once you've got that, you can then start layering it. So it's more of a framework, really. You've got the framework, and then you start layering in your personality into it all so that it feels really freaking good. Beck's on here this morning. Hey, Beck. And I'm just going to pick on you for a second. And the really great thing for you is that, you've seen this visible work play out for you already. She's been invited for speaking engagements and stuff like that. She actually said to me, we've all made marketing so hard and so big and complex an idea that, really it's actually really quite simple. So in the Visible Expansion Program, it's going to be a really simple framework that you can work through in order for you to really step up and grab that iconic status that I know that you guys want to have online this year. Shirley, I kept seeing New Year, New Me posted for ladies. You're not broken, your horse is not broken. Yeah, and for some reason I'm not going to be able to open up the rest of your comment, which is really freaking annoying. I'll need to have my computer out to check that properly. You know what? This whole New Year, new blah blah business, I think it can be good, but it can also be super detrimental. And the reason that I think in a lot of instances it's detrimental, and you're right, they're not broken. It already insinuates that somehow you're wrong. That you're bad, that you're not enough, somehow that you're not worthy. What if it was just more of a decision where, I'm actually committing to me, and this is what I'm going to do moving forward. And I'm going to screw up along the way, and that's right, it's fine, it's actually the exact right path. Oh, I know, there's another example of that. So, hands up, let me know who knows Samantha Wills, the jewelry designer. She used to do a lot of really chunky kind of stones and rings and earrings and really beautiful kind of, I call it like boho jewelry. I don't know what the actual terminology is for it. I kind of call it boho. There's like kind of surfy Byron Bayish, which is, I think she was Port Macquarie is where she started up her business. But I'm reading some stuff on Instagram that she's been posting over the last week or so about how the Samantha Wills brand is being closed down at the end of this week. How she got caught up in some different things, and it's been shut. Like, the business is gone, like done, gone. And I'm like, wow. And she's been really open and honest by my view of what's been going on with the way that she's been sharing. But what's really interesting is, and what I liked about what I read last night when I read about the stuff that was going on, is that there is no right path. The path that you're on is the right path. There is no wrong path. The path is just the path. And I've been saying that for a while now, where, like, what if the roadblock isn't actually the roadblock, it's just the thing that you need to work through in order to get to where it is that you need to be. So if you trust that you're on the right path, you might screw up, but maybe that's a screw up that you need to have in order to get the learning and get the experience and build the resilience and yada yada yada. Open yourself up to the people in the world who need to come in. If all you're doing is going then the people that need to hear you out over here might not hear you. So sometimes we need to have that little sidetrack, it might feel like a sidetrack, or a bump, or a pause, or an acceleration in order for those new people to kind of come back in and perhaps reconnect with you and whatever else. So, the moral of today's story is this: you're perfect as you are. Right? You're absolutely perfect as you are, whether you have all of the words or very few words. The way for you to really become visible online, the way for you to be able to stand out, the way for you to be able to do what it is that you're here to do and build out this, endless amounts of content to really be able to connect and build relationships with people is just by starting. And the third big thing is the path is just the path. There's no right or wrong. The path is just the path, and you're perfect as you are. So just the final last thing. Oh, and you don't need to hypnotize people into buying from you. That's the other really big thing. You don't need to know NLP. You don't need to know sales tactics. You don't need to know blah, blah, all the other bullshit that you'll be told. You just don't need it. It's you just trust in what you're doing, that you're able to deliver value and that you're able to help people achieve the outcome that you've promised. That's the key there. But believe that people will love you enough, trust you and believe in you enough that they'll be like, yep, I need that, and that they're happy to part with their money in exchange for the immense value that you're about to deliver to them. You don't need to hypnotize them into buying from you or run to the back of the room. There's only blah, blah, blah places like, bullshit, false scarcity. Infuriates me. So that's that. If you want to join our Visible Expansion program, I'll post the link in here again. It will be, the link is nicolamoras.com.au/visible-expansion. We start on Monday, so enrollments will start midnight on Sunday night. So really looking forward to hosting you in there. Otherwise, here's the thing, guys. Go help some people. Get yourself out there. Get visible and go make shit happen. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.